CTV Calgary, local breaking news.
Good afternoon. Water restrictions have now been lifted after a month of repairs on the damaged Bears Paw water feeder main. The city asked people in Calgary, Airdrie, Chestermere, Strathmore and Sutina to reduce water usage. 9 sections of the pipe were shored up and then carefully refilled over the last few days. Testing showed the pipe is holding and the water is safe to drink. Repaving on 16th Avenue is being completed and detours should come down this weekend. Meanwhile, the city says the new pipe project is moving ahead of schedule.
Last week, crews started with the first micro tunneling machine actually installing pipe. This week, the second machine started operating and is installing pipe. And so we are on schedule to have that work done by December 1st. If anything changes, we will let you know.
The city is urging residents to collect rainwater this summer to water their gardens to continue to keep water use low. Calgary is under a snowfall warning today with up to 20 centimeters possible. The heavy wet snow is accumulating on roads and walkways. That's making it difficult to navigate, especially on hills. Calgary police say between midnight and noon there have been 163 crashes. Environment Canada says the band of heavy snow stalled this morning from Canmore to Calgary and areas southeast. The snow is forecast to taper off throughout the afternoon. Oil prices are rising again following Donald Trump's address last night about the Iran war and no timeline for its end. GasBuddy.com has the Calgary average at $1.65, but some stations are as high as $1.77. WTI crude sets the baseline for what refineries pay and ultimately what drivers pay at the pump. It's being pushed by global uncertainty, jumping about 7% to more than $107 a barrel. And higher fuel prices are already working their way into the supply chain.
We're already getting notifications of price increases, and in some cases, some of the distributors of products are tapping on surcharges, fuel surcharges, onto their deliveries.
The impact depends on what's being shipped. For high-value goods like electronics, a few $100s more in fuel doesn't change much. But for groceries, that same increase can quickly push prices higher for consumers. And with volatility in oil markets continuing, drivers and shoppers should expect more swings ahead. The province has introduced legislation that would give it more power over immigration. The new rules would require employers to register with the province before accessing federal temporary foreign worker programs. It would also create a licensing system for immigration consultants and recruiters. Alberta's immigration minister says Bill 26 would give the province information it was not receiving from Ottawa and provide safeguards for workers.
We're taking all legal means possible, which is in my mandate letter from the Premier, to take more control over provincial immigration. And in doing so, it will support the businesses in Alberta, and it will create a more transparent process for people coming from out of country to work.
The province says similar rules are already in place in Saskatchewan and BC. If passed, the legislation would be implemented over time. The federal government has introduced a money-back guarantee for passports. Starting today, if it takes longer than 30 business days to process a passport application, the government will refund the fee. The clock starts when a complete application is received and ends when the passport is printed and verified. Mailing time is not included. The latest data shows Calgary's housing supply varies depending on the property type. The Calgary Real Estate Board says supply remained above the 10-year average for both row and apartment-style units and well below trend for detached homes. Housing sales were just shy of 1,900 in March, a slight jump year over year, but down 13% on average for the month. The benchmark for a detached home is $741,000 and $300,000 for a condo in Calgary. And Calgary condo owners now have a faster and more affordable way to resolve disputes. The province's new rules for condo owners mean they can turn to a condominium dispute resolution tribunal to resolve disagreements. The tribunal will operate on a self-funded model paid for by the condo community. Fees for users range between $150 and $300. A packed house at the Saddle Dome last night for the PWHL takeover.
Getting that back pressure. They score!
Just over 16,000 fans in the stands for the first PWHL game in Calgary. The Toronto Scepters faced off against the Ottawa Charge. The final score 2-1 for the Scepters. Calgary was the second stop on the league's takeover tour this year. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnewscalgary.ca.